Hello there, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi there, a very good day to all. Okay, I'm going to take you along another journey. We're going to move on straight and focus into some of those parts of listening that you have heard. You have been given an extensive overview by my colleague, but now I'm going to direct your focus straight to MUET listening part 1. Yeah, okay, it's going to be fun. What you should know about MUET listening part 1. Part 1, it comprises of a dialogue, a conversation between two persons. You're going to be listening to that, and this is under part 1. It is the speech length is around 650 words, the 5-minute recording, more or less. And then the question type is multiple choice question with 3 options. Yeah, you're gonna make a choice there. All right, you're given your choices. Make the best choice as you listen to the recording. The number of questions are 7. You have to answer all of them. Then the duration is around 10 minutes. The language level is at Common European Framework of Reference, or CFR, A2 Basic to B1 Independent User. Basically, part 1 will be focusing more on the simple text, as you were explained earlier by my colleague during the overview about or regarding complex text and simple text. Well, part 1 will be basically about texts that are usually simple text, which are usually short. Expressions used are straightforward, right? And the topics are familiar to students. Example, campus life, your family, your friendship, or even hobbies. And now we have the social media and whatnot, right? Perhaps those could come out during the exam. Well, let's look at the test focus. The test focus is more on testing whether do you have an understanding of simple phrases and expressions, right? Can you understand familiar and unfamiliar topics? So you are showing your understanding of familiar and unfamiliar topic, which is close to you, to be quite close to you because you have those prior knowledge, those previous experience and so on. And identifying general and specific information, a skill that one has to learn in reading, in writing, and of course in listening, and now in speaking too. But when you listen, you are identifying general and specific information to detect, to pick out among the many which are the right one, which are the correct one, and to submit it as your answer. Next, another test focus or the skill that you are tested. You have to understand the main ideas and make it clear, right? Standard speech, familiar matters. Understanding main ideas made in clear, standard speech, familiar matters. That's how you read it. That's how you understand it, right? The whole chunk seems to be quite easier to understand to me, rather than reading it part by part. Alright, joke aside, yeah, let's move on. Let's look at the do's. Read ahead to prepare yourself. Of course, every test you need to read ahead, right? But here, you have a bit of a complication here because you do not have any text like reading comprehension. You cannot flip the pages, alright, because you have to listen. You have only your question paper or the worksheet, and you have to listen to the recording twice, okay? So you need to prepare a mental picture of what you are listening to. You need to look at the question. You need to synchronize. You need to put things together in perspective as you listen to the question. What is it asking? And you are going to detect the answer as you are listening. So a couple of mental cognitive preparation is needed. A couple of mental synchronization. You need to prepare some sort of mental picture of what you're seeing, what you're listening to, and try to form a general perspective or a general overview or the two people who are talking, what they are talking about, right? Concentrate fully while listening, because this is what you need to do. Don't panic if you miss the question. Never. Attend it again during the second listening. As you have heard countless times by the previous presenter, that you must not panic. Panic is not the way to approach listening. So you have to attend it again during the second listening, meaning that you have a second chance. So do not panic if you miss the answer. Stay at one question for very long. Don't do that. Don't stay at one question for very long. Now, next, don't ever lose your focus while listening, because listening is an active skill. You need to show that you are active thinking. Alright? And while listening, you're trying to comprehend what you hear, trying to put things together. That's where the skill of understanding and putting things together, as your eyes are focusing on the question paper and you're thinking between these three options, which one are you going to pick as the correct answer? And do not leave any question unattempted. Alright, you need to attempt all the questions. You need to do them all. Next, how to score? Well, it's quite easy. How? Be ready. Direct all your attention to recording. Stay focused. Put all your other thoughts aside. Do not even think about your cats. Do not even think about any what we call setbacks or any harsh thing that you went through. Don't think about your buffaloes or other pets. I'm just kidding. Next, be an active listener. Use your past background knowledge to find the right meaning from what is heard. Alright? Past background knowledge means what experience have you gone through in life. The experience, the books you have been reading or you have read. Next, how to tackle. Read the question and options carefully. I'm going to show you the sample of the question later, so that it will give you some rough idea of what MUET Part 1 is all about. Next, while you are reading the question, don't forget to underline, mark the keywords. Remember at school, we use highlighter, right? We highlight those keywords. But here, you can underline. You can circle if you want. Alright? Mark the keywords. Listen to the recording for the first time as it is played. Okay? Listen to it for the first time. And then, look at the worksheet. Answer the question. Process everything. Mental process. Remember I told you? You have to form a mental picture of what is going on, what is the gist of the conversation or the general idea about the two people who are talking. Answer the question as you go along, as you read question 1, 2, 3, so forth, and so on and so forth. Listen to the recording for the second time. Check for those questions that you have missed, and of course check your answers, right? Okay, the text or recording. Again, look at the instruction given on the question paper and understand what you have to do for question 1 until 7. Look at all the 7 questions given to get a general idea of what the dialogue is going to be about, so that you'll be mentally prepared. Be prepared to listen to the recording now. I'm saying during the test, right? As you are mentally prepared, you have to look at all the 7 questions. You have gone through question 1 until question 7. You have even highlighted, or you have even circled or underlined those keywords or key phrases that could help you to be able to link whatever conversation they are going through, to link the question that has been asked to the part where it should give you the right answer. And then the recording for this part will be played. Alright, just to give you an idea, we look at the sample question of part 1. There are altogether 7 questions. The instruction or the rubrics are quite straightforward. Listen to a conversation between Arisa and her friend Jason. Okay, as you listen, choose the correct answers for question 1 to 7. So, like I said earlier, you need to listen. Now you have a clue. You have Arisa, you have another name, Jason. These are two friends talking to each other. Now, choose the correct answer while listening, but your eyes are trained. Your eyes are trained on the 7th question. Alright, that I have here, it's quite small. I'll try my best. Question number 1. I'm trying to give you an idea of what the question looks like, so that you get a rough idea of how the question look or would be like. And then, of course, we are not trying to attempt this, but we just to give you some idea. Okay, question number 1. Arisa went to the restaurant to meet Jason, have lunch and have a drink. These are the 3 options given. A, meet Jason, have lunch, have a drink. Number 2, both Arisa and Jason were A, childhood friend, B, in the same class, C, looking for a job. Number 3, Arisa is asking for Jason's advice because she A, wants to go abroad, B, plans to travel alone, and C, need to book an agency. And 4, with regard to the passport, Arisa should keep A copy with her, B, is locked in a safe place, and C, a picture of the front page of her phone. And number 5, Arisa should list her travel plans mainly because she A, could be located if needed, B, is reminded of where to go, and C, could book a flight early. And number 6, when packing her things, Arisa should consider A, bringing only her personal things, B, the length of her stay at each place, and C, her time spent in packing and unpacking things. Alright, quite small, a little bit blurry, but I think I managed to give you a rough idea of it, right? Next, the number 7, the last question for part 1. The correct position to carry a bag when traveling is, you see 3 pictures, give you some idea, alright, at the back of the person's body, and it's on the left, on the right side, and you can get a rough idea, or you can get some idea what is the correct position to carry a bag when traveling, as suggested by the 2 person talking to each other. Alright, okay, this should give you a mental picture, should give you a rough idea of how the question paper will be set and how the question will be asked. Alright, of course I have the answers to that, but since we are not challenging you to answer all these questions today, so I'm going to play you the recording of part 1, a sample of recording of part 1, and that recording of that tape script is in regards to the question that we given regarding Arisa and Jason just now. So take a listen. These are the answers actually, right? Well, it's not a test, so I just flash the answers so that you can get some idea of what they are. Perhaps you can look at it during your free time. Okay, the description for the listening is band 1, band 2, band 3. Of course, you know that it gets better and better as the band goes higher and higher. So the numbers, right? Band 4, band 5, and band 6, band 5 plus. Okay, meaning that you have a standard speech understanding and so on. Alright, okay, thank you very much for your time. Have a good day. My name is Sir Ash. I'm presenting together with my friend Sir Suhaimi. So take good care of yourself and take a listen to the recording of part 1 to give you a good idea of how it's about. Alright? Well, that is all for the time being. See you again in the next video. Bye for now. Ta-ta.
Part 1. Listen to a conversation between Arisa and her friend Jason. As you listen, choose the correct answer for questions 1 to 7. You now have 30 seconds to look at the questions. Now listen carefully and indicate your answers on the multiple choice answer sheet.
Hi Jason, how are you? Come and join me for coffee. The coffee here is superb.
Hi Arisa, what a surprise. It's great to see you again. Sure, I'll join you. I'm actually hungry. I was busy attending to my customers that I had to miss lunch.
I heard from our classmates that you've got a job at Mutiara Travel Agency.
Yes, I've started working part-time at the travel agency. Now that the exams are over, I've nothing much to do at home. I thought I'd work and save some money for another solo traveling later. What about you?
I'm planning to travel to neighboring countries for a start. I've been to all 13 states in our country with my family members and friends. This time around, I thought it would be cool to travel on my own. Perhaps you can share some tips with me on the do's and don'ts since you've done that before.
That's fantastic, Arisa. If you plan to travel on your own, there are several important things to remember. The first thing is to check if your passport is valid for the next 6 months. It's a very important document, so make sure you keep it safe with you at all times. It's a big problem if you lose it or if it gets stolen. My advice is to take a picture of the front page of your passport and save it in your handphone. You may want to share a copy with your close family member just in case of an emergency.
Okay, I remember that.
Also, keep your family members informed of your travel plans. They must know where you are during your travels. When I went to Japan last year, I remember giving my complete travel plan to my mum. I listed down the flight details of the airlines. I also added information like the hostels I plan to stay in, the addresses and contact numbers. Putting all this information can be tiring, but it makes your loved ones feel less worried. They will know where to reach you.
That makes sense. What should I bring with me?
Well, carrying too many things can slow you down. The fewer things you bring with you, the easier it is to move around quickly. That way, you don't need to spend too much time packing and unpacking your bags.
What if I pack too little and don't have enough things to use?
Well then, just identify the important things that you really need, like medicine, personal items like toothbrush and comb, a few t-shirts and pants. This also depends on how long your whole trip is going to be.
By the way, I've heard some bad experiences from people who had been robbed or had lost their wallets to pickpockets.
Well, bad things can happen anywhere, but we can be extra careful when traveling solo. When I travel, I always make sure I put my bag across my body. That way, I can always check my belongings. Don't put anything in your back pocket. Pickpockets love it when you do that. It makes their job easier.
I remember your advice, Jason.
Don't get too worried, Arisa. Be positive. Just remember to enjoy the experience of meeting new people in new places. It is adventure you will remember. It's getting late. I have to go now.
Thank you, Jason. Good advice. The drink is on me.
You're welcome, Arisa. Don't forget to share pictures of your adventure.